Today we are going to make an easy pizza dough by hand. It's your pizza base. Oh my goodness, you're going to really love it. Hey, please support us on Patreon. It's very important. Here's how we do it. I'm Chef Don McMillan, and I am so excited because I'm Chef Don McMillan, and I'm going to make this wonderful pizza dough. I know you're going to be excited about it. I'm going to make it with my hands. I have some really easy ingredients, and I just want to tell you, please subscribe. We need your subscriptions because I want to share more information with you, as well as go ahead and tap that bell. That's important to hear that bell ring. Makes us happy. And of course, I am going to put the recipe right below in the directions. If you have any comments, put them down below, because I'd love to talk to you about what's going on and how to make pizzas. Maybe you have some favorite recipes as well. All right, so to start, I'm going to use warm water. Now you see a lot of recipes say 110 degrees. That's a caution temperature, not any hotter than 110. If it's less, it just takes a little bit longer for the yeast to work. Not to worry, okay? I'm using instant yeast. Also going to use olive oil. I do have to use some olive oil in my recipe. I want to give it a little more of that elasticity. I have sugar. Sugar is going to help the yeast work. Also going to give some flavor, and definitely got to have salt. The flour that I'm using today, to me it's important because I like to use bread flour. Bread flour, when you go shopping in a supermarket, is usually on the bottom shelf. It has a lot of gluten. Gluten is so important because you're going to stretch your dough. And when you stretch your dough, you want it to keep its shape. So that to me is very important. You could use all-purpose flour if you wish, but I find that I get best results using bread flour. And I've even seen in the marketplace flour that's called pizza dough flour. That's another good one to buy. Okay, so let's put it together. I have 5½ cups of flour. I'm saving ½ cup to work with, and I'm going to add my dry ingredients. So I have my salt. I'm going to take a little bit of sugar because that's going to be for my yeast. So I'll put my rest of my sugar in there, and then I have my yeast, my instant yeast, and I'm going to take a little bit of the water, and I'm just going to get my yeast going here. And I'm going to watch it, because what's going to happen is going to start to foam. And once it starts to foam, I know that the yeast is active and it's working. The last thing you want to do is to make your dough and the yeast is not working. I like to keep my yeast in a tight fitting container in the freezer. I find that it will last almost indefinitely in there. Keep it away from the moisture, and of course being in the cold, it'll be just perfect. Don't go by the date that you see on the package of the yeast. If you look at that date, it's almost, I think they call it like an idiot guide. But really, you're always proof your yeast before making bread or any type of a yeast-raised dough. Trust me, you want to do that. And you can see our yeast is dissolving in there. And we're going to give it a few more minutes, and as soon as it rises, then we're going to go ahead and incorporate it into our dough. Our yeast has risen to the occasion. Look at it. It's beautiful. And now what we're going to do is, I like to just go ahead and put the olive oil in with the yeast. Give it a little bit of a stir. And then I'm going to have my dry ingredients, which are right here. Have a little backup flour, and of course the rest of the warm water. Taking your hands, which are your most important tools, right here. This is the way bread has been made for centuries, even millenniums. So I'm putting all the dry ingredients, just mixing them up, getting them well distributed. Then make a little bit of well in the bowl, and to that I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast that I've already added a little bit of the warm water with. Put that right in there. And what I like to do is just like take some of the water that I have measured out And let's go ahead and just clean up that yeast bowl and put that in there. All right, that's out of the way. Incorporate the rest of the water. And when I make the dough, I like to have one hand outside holding the bowl, and I have the other hand in the bowl. This way I'm not having two sticky hands like that. It doesn't matter which way you do it, clockwise, counterclockwise, but just go ahead and mix the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. And then as it's starting to form into a ball, I like to squeeze. See, squeeze, squeeze. And as it's squeezing, it's picking up the rest of the dry ingredients that haven't been incorporated yet. Remember, when you're using flours, each brand is milled differently. It's milled at a different, it's in a different mill. So when you're following recipes and it talks about using cups rather than weight, what's going to happen is that you may use one brand and then switch to another brand and find that it needs a little more water or it needs a little less liquids. So just keep that in mind. That's why when I put on my recipes, I put 5 to 5.5 cups of flour. Start out with 5, you can add more later. Okay, now it's starting to gather, and what I want to do now is just put both of my hands, and I'm squeezing it. You can see that, just squeezing the dough, just incorporating it. The stuff that sticks to your hands is really easy to get off just by rubbing it together, or just even putting a little bit of flour on your hand like this, and then kind of wash your hands with the flour, and those little bits and pieces come off, but that's not a problem. Okay. So when you're feeling the dough, it should have some resistance, but not a lot. You just want it to come together. And of course, we're not finished with it now. We're just forming it into a ball, because the next thing is even more fun. And this is why I like to tell people all the time to work with children. Children are going to get so much good experience, and this is the type of memories they're going to share. They'll share with their children. All right, now here's the dough. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my board, place it in there, and here, look, it looks like, oh my goodness, just old clothes or rags. But now the fun begins. Now what you're going to do is you're going to knead the dough. Now I like to just fold it, push down like this, fold it and push down, turn it and do this. This is going to be for about 10 minutes, so this would be a great recipe to work with someone close to you that you would want to share the experience, because trust me, when this bread, when this pizza dough, when any of these things come out of the oven, it smells so good. Definitely going to share that. All right, our dough is now in the right condition. Listen, I like to tell people, they say, well, how do I know? I use 2 keys. First, when you start it out, it looks like it's got a lot of cellulite, okay? Your idea is to get rid of that cellulite, and then you just keep kneading it, and kneading it for about 10 minutes. And then when it feels like a baby's bottom, you got it. It's ready. So I do this. Now I shape it into a ball like that. And then I take a bowl, and remember, it's got to double in size, so you don't want a small bowl because it's going to come out. And spray it with a little bit of oil. You can use a paper towel with a little kitchen oil. That would work just as well. And then I take the round part, put it down in the bowl, move it around, flip it back over, and I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap or a damp towel. It's going to take about 1 hour and 15 minutes for it to double in size, and then we're going to start baking our pizzas. All right, our dough has risen. It's been 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and take the plastic wrap off. I did this so you don't form a skin on the dough. That's very important. Look at that. It doubled in size. Can you believe that? Isn't that something? Well, we're going to knock it down. We'll put some flour on our board again, and just go ahead and dump it right out. Yeah, just put it right there. Okay, let's get this out of our way. And we're gonna knock it down. And what I like to do is this, watch, see my hands? Just roll, roll, roll. Now, this recipe that I've given you will make 2 extra large pizzas, okay? It'll make 4 large pizzas, and it will make 12 individual sized pizzas. So you cut the dough as you like. I have my dough scraper here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut in half. Next thing I wanna tell you, this dough freezes beautifully, beautifully. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Be sure it's a larger bag because it's gonna expand a little bit. Put it right into your freezer. Of course, you always wanna date it and put what's in there, all right? And then you'll freeze it, and then you can come back and use it another day, all right? And then all you gotta do is take it out the freezer, just set it on the board, it'll start expanding, you'll see for yourself. All right, so we're gonna divide our pizza dough, and then I'm going to make 4 large pizzas because I want you to see the rest of our videos coming up, okay? We've got pizzas galore, cauliflower pizza, can you believe it? Look, you gotta support us on Patreon. We need that support. We're gonna offer you exclusive content, early access to our videos, behind the scenes shots that you don't wanna miss. They're funny, believe me, and we're gonna do it without ads. Subscribe to us, tap that bell. Let us know what you think about your pizzas, our pizza dough. Can you use it? Yes, you can use this. Don't use it to make the most delicious Italian bread. We're gonna put that in the recipe too, okay? So, as always with Chef Don McMillan and our recipes, they're always simple and delicious. Now don't go away. I got something to tell you. I'm gonna bring Andrew in here and he's gonna tell you what we got a surprise. What do you got for him?
Hi everyone. So for every 50 subscribers, we're going to give away this free apron. I'm going to ship it to you absolutely for free, just like the aprons we're wearing. All you have to do is, in the comments, let us know that you subscribed, and we will contact you, and then we will pick you out, 1 out of every 50 people, and we will send this to you absolutely for free. I hope you like this recipe, and we got plenty more to come.
That's right. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you in the next video.